The legendary Sannin Orochimaru, multiple counts of kidnapping, multiple counts of treason, conspiracy to overthrow the government, multiple counts of murder and attempted murder, and a whole list of other things that I'm sure that I'm leaving out. Now, this is the guy responsible for drastically changing the political landscape by killing the 4th Kazekage and invading the Leaf Village, leading to the death of the 3rd Hokage, who was forced to use the Reaper Death Seal to seal Orochimaru's arms so he could not use any more jutsu, all the while being responsible for dozens of experiments on children and teenagers, including Sasuke. And with these experiments and other members like the Sound 5, then used them to aid him in his evil acts. During his time studying, he achieved the closest thing to immortality he could, and now he's pretty tough to actually get rid of. Now, due to the fact that he learned how to take over different bodies and last forever, there's not really a way to kill Orochimaru. More so, it is possible, but it is a very difficult task to do. But now, this is him. Same guy, but in the new series Boruto. He cleaned up a bit, straightened his hair, got some new clothes, is now the parent of 2 children, Mitsuki, and occasionally Log when he does his taxes. And even with his acts in Naruto Part 1 and 2, he's free. Now, how did the once legendary Sannin go from a respected Leaf Ninja to international terrorist to stay-at-home parent with a research lab? Once a well-respected ninja, Orochimaru was Hiruzen, aka the 3rd Hokage student, right alongside Jiraiya and Tsunade. As a kid, he was said to have a sadistic personality as stated by Tsunade, and was an orphan. During his events in the Second Shinobi World War, him and Jiraiya and Tsunade encountered Hanzo, and because they survived their encounter and their battle with him, they gained the title of the 3 legendary Sannin. They would later run across some orphans in the Land of Rain, which Orochimaru suggested that they be killed. Even if they're kids, Orochimaru still sees them as a threat, right? Jiraiya sort of insisted that, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and stay behind and train them instead. And it turns out that these orphans were Nagato, Konan, and Yahiko, with Nagato later leading to the demise of Jiraiya in the form of the leader of the Akatsuki, that being Pain. So in a way, Orochimaru was a little bit right that they should have gotten rid of those kids there and then, and it would have saved us a lot of trouble in the future. Orochimaru also fought in the 3rd Shinobi World War, and based on his feats, was even a candidate for Hokage at some point in time. But that all changed due to Hiruzen sensing the evil within Orochimaru and realizing that he would be a horrible choice for Hokage. Angered by this, Orochimaru began experimenting on children, producing ninjas such as Yamato, and continued these experiments for a couple of years. Now, Orochimaru in Part 1 was a very interesting character. From his introduction in the Chunin exams in the Forest of Death to the invasion of the Leaf, he's done a lot of stuff and is partly responsible for a lot of future events that happen later in the series. His obsession for power and wanting to get revenge on the Leaf drove him to do unspeakable things, such as his experiments on children, and him learning a whole bunch of forbidden techniques that he later used in the invasion of the Leaf, such as the resurrecting the past Hokages, and even some of his subordinates such as Kabuto used these same techniques during the 4th Great Ninja War. Orochimaru has a lot of influence on the series, and I don't think a lot of people recognize that. Now, after the events of Part 1 where he invaded the Leaf Village, killed the Kazekage, took Sasuke to his facility, trained them, and did all those other things in Part 1, he has somewhat of a redemption arc in Part 2, surprisingly, and during the 4th Great Ninja War, he even aided Sasuke, his former student, in finding out the truth about the Uchiha in the Leaf Village. By resurrecting the former Kage for Sasuke, he was able to turn the tides of the war and was actually a great asset in ending the war. This was really a turning point for Orochimaru because he honestly wasn't such a bad guy anymore, and he actually became pretty useful when we actually needed him, and he wasn't going around plotting on people like before. Now, just one of the questions many fans may have when first seeing Orochimaru in Boruto is, why is this man free and why is Naruto letting him roam around like this? Well, based on what I just said about his past, this is based on a couple of things. First of all, Naruto is an extremely nice guy, like a little bit too nice, right? This is kind of why Naruto has a right-hand man like Shikamaru to sort of set him straight sometimes and can sort of slap some reason into him. But Naruto just thinks it's better to have Orochimaru free in the first place since he isn't the same person anymore. But in this case, Orochimaru is getting some supervision by the Leaf Village. Honestly, someone like Orochimaru is an important asset to the village, and he's one of the smartest scientists that we've ever known in Naruto, and wasting his talents would pretty much just be a shame. That's why we have characters like Mitsuki now that are allowed to exist. And if Sasuke can be free, it makes sense that Orochimaru can as well. Sasuke sort of did, some atrocious crimes as well, and now he's a free man and is working with the Leaf Village, but is still sort of on the uneasy side for a lot of the civilians that reside in the Leaf. Not everybody trusts Sasuke, not everybody trusts Orochimaru, but just for the sake of them having their abilities and their talents, they're allowed to live in the Leaf Village. Secondly, there's actually no possible way that they can actually keep Orochimaru locked up somewhere if they change their mind. No, Orochimaru, he finds some way to slither out of whatever cell, and it would be more of a nuisance to keep him locked away in the first place. It really just comes down to Orochimaru being such a vital part in the war, and the nations forgiving him for what he did. So it makes sense that Naruto would allow him to live freely and do as he pleases to. Anyway, I plan to throw in some more Naruto videos in the mix with these Boruto ones, so I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.